So, a very good morning and namaste to all. Since it's a Jainism week, and the the Jainis always say Jai Jinendra. So, Jai Jinendra to each one. I'm very happy to see yesterday's response of everyone. Yesterday, day one, we work with one of the most significant and the strongest belief of Jainism in non-violence. Non-violence in your thoughts, non-violence in your action, non-violence at a physical level, mental level, in your speech, how you act, and in your food, if possible, because what we consume, that energy remains with us. So many of you evening we had opened up, and many of you said that yesterday you didn't get triggered with people who normally make you very angry. And there was a question yesterday evening for whoever missed out yesterday, just a quick revision. So there was a question that what happens when you are still positive and people around you are still triggering you, they're still they make you really angry. And I'd answered that you just simply affirm and say, I am in charge. I deserve to be in charge. I take charge. Because only and only people whom you give the power to manipulate you, you put them high in the pedestal, only they have the right to get you out of control. If I don't want to get angry, and if I'm getting angry, which means I am not in my own control. And is that making me feel good about it? And again, mentioning that we are not claiming any particular emotion to be good or bad. When we teach emotional equilibrium, we are simply saying that everything in life has to be in balance. Anywhere we move out of our equilibrium, out of our balance, that is where the discomfort, you are not at ease, the beginning of a dis-ease starts. So all of you followed that for yesterday. I'm very happy for that. So we are going to start today the second topic. So before I speak about that, I would like you all to see a video until she starts the video. So is my glass half empty or half full? You guys can message us and put it on the chat. Is this half empty or it is half full? Half full, half full. I think this group will write half full only because we are listening to that. So Yogesh and Suchitra said half full, Jaisal said half empty, Harshal said half empty. This can be what that they actually felt it, or it can be the reverse psychology also. Like somebody said it is half, okay, I'm going to say this. Half full, half empty. So in short, glass is the same. We all have different opinions about it. Some may see and perceive it as half full, some may see and perceive it as half empty. Is anyone incorrect or anyone correct? Both are correct, right? There is nobody who is wrong. But both can argue and argue and argue and spend their entire life proving their point correct. And wanting to say that no, but you must see it. So like people who may say that half full, they say like, you know what, you do never see life, with a positive aspect. You always see what is not there, what is missing. And the other may see, but no, I can clearly see it is half empty. Is anybody right or wrong? Nobody is right and nobody is wrong. And that's what happens in life all the time. Nobody is right and nobody is wrong. Everybody has their own different perception. The perceptions can be based on their own makeup. And what makes you up not only your upbringing, but even your genetic structure, the genetic tree, your thousands of past lives that you have lived. So when the child is born in the same family, even if there are 4 different children, all 4 in the same upbringing, same environment, can have a different thought process. And people probably who are getting born now, what is happening in the mass consciousness also can remain with them. Because we think that, oh, but I am avoiding listening to that. But it is big time in the mass consciousness if the COVID fear is there, if there is something. And you just may not understand why you think in a particular way. So everybody's thought process, how they think, how they behave, is completely based on lot of other parameters. And there is so many arguments and disagreements of what 2 people are talking, whether it is in our personal relationship. We are arguing, no, but why didn't you do it that way? Why can't you express your love that way? Why can't you tell me that, oh, I love you by giving me this? It happens in the relationships, it happens constantly, and the family. The seniors may feel that the children are not listening to them. This is how we are telling you from our experience. This is what happened. But yeah, that time there were trunk calls. Now there is a WhatsApp. Now there is a Facebook. The entire world has changed. And the youngsters may feel that our parents don't understand us. It happens at a workplace. So let us have a look at the video first, and then we get to the resolution of it. Please share, Mehak.
जैनियों के अनुसार वास्तविकता किसी एक अनुभव पर आधारित नहीं होती। इसके कई पहलू हो सकते हैं, जैसा कि ये प्रसिद्ध कथा हमें बताती है। इस सरल, मजेदार और व्यवहारिक कहानी के अनुसार 6 दृष्टिहीन व्यक्ति थे, जिन्हें एक हाथी के सामने लाया गया। हर एक से पूछा गया कि वो बताए कि कोई हाथी दिखने में कैसा लगता होगा। एक दृष्टिहीन ने हाथी की सूंड पकड़ी और कहा कि हाथी किसी मोटे सांप जैसा लगता है। दूसरा व्यक्ति कान के पास गया और बोला, नहीं, ये किसी पंखे जैसा है। तीसरे व्यक्ति ने हाथी के मोटे से पैर पर हाथ फिराया और बोला, ये निश्चित ही किसी खंभे जैसा है। चौथा व्यक्ति पूंछ के पास गया और बोला, ये जानवर तो किसी रस्सी जैसा है। पांचवें व्यक्ति ने हाथी के धड़ पर अपना हाथ रखा और घोषणा की, हाथी किसी दीवार जैसा लगता है। छठे व्यक्ति ने दांत छुआ और वो फौरन बोला, हाथी किसी भाले जैसा होता है। हर व्यक्ति का अनुमान अपने आप में सही था, लेकिन सभी ने संपूर्ण सत्य के सिर्फ एक हिस्से को ही अनुभव किया था। उनमें से कोई भी हाथी के बारे में पूरी तरह समझ नहीं पाया, जबकि हाथी उन सभी के अनुमानों का जोड़ था। 13वीं सदी में जैन आचार्य मल्ली सेना ने लिखा था, कम समझ वाले लोग सत्य के कई पहलुओं को नकार देते हैं। वो जिन पहलुओं को समझते हैं उनके प्रति मोहित हो जाते हैं, और जिन्हें नहीं समझते उनकी अनदेखी करते हैं। दुनिया के प्रति इन भिन्न भिन्न नजरियों को जैन विचारधारा में अनेकांतवाद कहा जाता है।
So we are coming to the second foundation and the philosophy of Jainism, which is Anekantvad. Majority understood Hindi, whoever didn't understand. The video just showed that if there was the famous story of 6 blind people were taken to an elephant, and they all, whatever part of the elephant they touched, they perceived that part to be the reality. So somebody felt that it's simply, what is this animal? It is like a rope. Somebody said, no, that is like a pillar. So there were like 6 different perception attached to that. So Jainism says that people, when they do not allow to understand without knowing the complete truth about anything, we have our own perception about a thing. And we want to prove our perception only to be correct. And when we do that, we miss out on many aspects because this can be only your ego based. So Anekantvad simply tells us to respect and honor others' perceptions, opinions. So the way in which yesterday we simplified non-violence by saying that what quality do I require to be able to develop the quality of non-violence? Today again I'm asking, what quality do I require to be able to develop the quality of anekantvad, allowing people's having different opinions? Anybody has any clue about it? I've not yet received any message. Learn to listen, being compassionate to everyone. Yeah. So the first, no ego. Yeah, but how do we know whether everybody feels that they are not egoistic? Major self-love. No, I think the basic quality, acceptance. Acceptance of what? So the first primary quality each one requires to develop is to be a good listener, what Yogesh had said. Because I will have compassion towards a person when I will allow person to speak. But before even the person has put their point, we go impulsively in our own defensive mode. And we start telling them what we have understood it without allowing other to even explain their point. We are constantly in a defense to, as if, everybody feels they are going to be attacked. And whenever there is a need in us to prove our point, it is ego. Because if I feel that, no, my point is only correct, your point was wrong. So when acceptance will also come when I allow myself to listen to the other person's point. And probably I may disagree with their point. It's not necessary because we all are programmed for millions of years with a particular theory. It is okay. But majority of the time, if at that point of time, rather than arguing, you say, okay, I understood. Let me think about it. And I get back to you. It's a very good quality. In life, how do you use that quality in your life? I learned it few years back from a friend. So every shopping we used to do together for my daughter's wedding. And any suggestion that I will give, because my creative mind will not stop and I'm like, you must do this. But when you are very creative, you are very you have a very strong opinion as well. because you believe what you think is correct. And you never realize that point. Because you believe, no, but I have put so much of research effort, so I know this is the only correct way to go about it. And even if it is a small thing, like, whether it is a small outfit that you are going to buy, or a wedding card, or anything. And I would be, always in a rush to put up my point across. That, oh, this is ideal. Oh, I think this is so beautiful. This will look like this. This is like this, and all. And her answer always used to be like, yeah, I'll come back on this. And sometimes it used to be such a small thing. I used to like sometimes get irritated. I'm like, what is there to think about it? Why? I mean, it is not even a big deal. But then definitely, after 2 days, she will call and say, I thought about it and I think probably this is what it has plus, this is a negative, maybe probably this. Now, what do you think about it? And I realized that, yeah, when you are in a hurry, probably you miss out on a lot of factors. So I started taking that in small aspects of my life. The reason I gave this example was, rather than making things sound very big, that, oh, this is what, and then I am a religious person, then I'm a spiritual person. No, get it into small aspects of your life. So probably today's mantra for you and for everyone would be, wherever you are impulsively reacting, even if you are in agreement with the statement that the other person said, just allow them to speak. Listen to it completely. And many times it is not required for you to pass a comment on everything. You are like, And if you are in disagreement with anyone, again allow them to speak completely. And then, yeah, I heard you. And or like, yeah, makes sense. Let me think about it. Give it a time in whatever way. Being a hypnotherapist, a past life regression therapist, the founder of the B technique, the Theta Healing, whenever we work with the clients, this last few years have taught me, or the thousands of the clients just taught me one thing. 80% of the time, people come up with a problem because they feel being unheard by. I'm not saying that nobody listened to them. They felt nobody listened to them. They feel I'm unheard by. When they feel I'm unheard by, they feel I am not understood by. If nobody is hearing me out, then I'm not even understood by. When I'm not being understood by, I'm not wanted. And when I feel I'm unwanted, I feel rejected. When I feel rejected, I feel unloved. Imagine one small quality. Where does that take a human mind into? And that happens right from the time we are in the womb. So the child is like, no, but I want to convey this message. Child demands, child says, but we do not listen to that. In our mind, child's brain is not yet developed, not capable of. And we make this mistake of considering others not capable of. And it is only our ego. We think I am capable of. And then observe the dialogues that you use. Am I always wrong? Am I always the one? But nobody told you are always the one. Listen what point they have. Especially one of my clients, when she came from US, she very beautifully said that, ma'am, before I got married, both of us sat together and we decided that this agreement is agreeable. So whenever we argue, The first condition we both had put up to each other was that you other person will listen to it. It is okay to disagree to that. You do not require to agree to the other person's point. So maybe there is a disagreement, but we agree to that. That doesn't trigger us anymore. And that has given so much of growth in our relationship. We give that space to each other. And if it happens, like we think about it, why is my partner thinking about it? One technique, what Anekant was to explain it in reality, to get it into our thing, what we do or what I do, even when I teach children, is a role play. So there are times the client or the students completely, they are constantly saying that my life, everything is wrong because of this particular person, or everything is wrong because of this family, because of my boss, because of my spouse, because of my parents, because of my children. Any one particular person that I pick up, and I always tell them that forget theta, forget beef, forget any understanding, forget forgiveness, forget any aspect of life. Now I am you. And if you have problem with your mother, you are that mother. And let's talk. Let's talk it out. With our open eyes, I speak to them the problem that they are saying. For example, one student, and like highly qualified, she had done her PhD from UC Berkeley. She had studied in the Department of Psychology. She had been teaching. She did a lot of our higher level classes, and majority classes she was with Richa, under Richa. I had absolutely no clue about anyone's personal life because it's a policy that we never discuss anybody, like what happened in the class remains in that four walls. But when I was taking one high level class, and she again came back to the same problem, that my problem in my life is all because of my mother. Why is it because of your mother? Because my mother, I was a very weak child when I was born. Why did she not let me die? Now, to the outsider, whoever paired up, it didn't make sense only. They are like, what are you talking? Like, I mean, who will not do that? But to her, it was such a strong thought process that no, she would have let me die. And that's what last few years work made me realize, that anytime anyone who feels, they always feel what they are saying is always correct. They always feel you have not put yourself in my shoes, you do not know. And the minute I said like, oh, I completely agree. There is, our golden rule is client is always 100% correct. I said, I completely agree. Now, I am you, you are your mother. Let's talk it out. And I just started. I said, Mom, you don't understand. My all problems are because of you. I was born as a weak child. Why didn't you let me die? You should have let me die. So now she has to think from her mother's perspective. So she was like 2 minutes quiet. I said, no, 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 you have to answer me. You answer me right now. You tell me, why didn't you do that? She's like, no, but like, how can I let you die? I said, what do you mean by how can I let you die? You have to. And then like in 5 minutes, she was sweating and she started laughing. Until then, she was crying in all the classes for this. And I was like, what are you laughing on? Don't you understand? It is such a big problem in my life. And you're laughing on my problem. How can you laugh on my problem? She's like, I understood. I said, what you understood? You tell me right now, Mom, why the hell did you do that? And then she's like, yeah. Please spare me, Sangeeta. I understood. Right now, I'm calling my mother and saying sorry to her. I understood it is my mistake. We have done role play with 8-year-old kids. We have done role play with 6 years old kids who are complaining why my sister doesn't play with me, she doesn't understand. So what if she has exams? And all of them with this role play in 5 to 7 minutes, they suddenly realize it's quite overwhelming to see ourselves as a mirror reflection. Imagine whatever point, what behavior we portray to others. When others portray to us, it's quite overwhelming. And suddenly you open up to understand what others want to say. Probably first time you think from their perspective. Jainism simply in Anekantvad says the same thing. Be a good listener. No truth is complete. And if we want to live with the element of the soul, which is joy, allow yourself to be open and receptive to the complete truth without being judgmental about it. And probably whatever way works out for each one of you, whether you pair up with someone and do a role play, whether just be a good listener or in your mental space, the person with which you have problem, you be that person and you argue and you make yourself stand right in front of you and you argue on behalf of the person with which you have problem. Suddenly you will start realizing that, or simply develop the quality which I mentioned. Listen to their point and don't react, and simply say, okay, I get back to you. Think about it. Think about it from your perspective, their perspective, and releasing the need to prove ourselves. So before I release this need from everyone to prove ourselves, understand only and only people who do not believe they are good enough have the need to prove themselves to others. If I have to simply explain that, let me see if I can share the screen. No, I don't see. Yeah. So our subconscious mind is all around us. From our navel, it is 12 feet in diameter, all around us. Only 10% of it is our conscious mind. Remaining 90% is our subconscious mind. For example, in your early childhood, somebody, your mother, father, at the time of your birth said, oh, she's so dark. Oh, but I wanted a boy. And if the child, remember the brain is not yet developed, if the child feels at that point of time, I am not good enough. Fine. This is 90%. This is 6,000 times stronger. This is the energy with which you vibrate with. Imagine this is what you ask people because you believe I am not good enough. So now when you believe I am not good enough, that point of time, what happens is people around you can only and only give that back to you. What can they give back to you? Make you feel you are not good enough. Will they be nice to you? No. Because you, when you were probably 1 day old, felt I'm not good enough. And then probably more and more and more and more and more experiences of it. So rather than going back to the root cause and canceling that, what we do is this cycle, it's simply continues. And we constantly work on that. And so when I feel I am not good enough, I want to prove myself to others. When I want to prove myself to others, what I have actually asked people is I'm not good enough. So what I will attract is always rejection, because when they reject me, that makes me feel I'm not good enough. And it's a vicious circle from which I do not know how to come out, and I do not know how to break this vicious circle. And that's why when we work, what we say is that let us work at a subconscious level. And that's why we are doing the theta healing downloads. That's why we do the B technique. Is that making sense to all before we do certain downloads? Yeah. So let's understand anything is intention based. Intention is the intent, what we set in our life, what we wish to have. And that's what even Jainism says, that it is bhav. Like what intent, what emotion is attached to it, that is what you receive it back. So right now we will do the downloads to allow ourselves, at least open ourselves for that. So would you like to know what it feels like to be a good listener? Through Creator's definition and perspective of the seventh plane of Creator of all that is, you know how to be a good listener. It is safe for you to be a good listener without the fear of being attacked. It is possible for you to be a good listener without having to prove yourself to others. They are deserving to be a good listener. And you are a good listener. And to tell yourself, I am a good listener. I choose to live my daily life being a good listener. I know what it feels like to communicate and connect with the people around me through Creator's definition and perspective of the seventh plane of Creator of all that is. I know how to let the divine communicate through me and to let the divine consciousness in me communicate with the divine, with myself, with God, with people around me, and that it is safe, it is possible. I choose to communicate with the divine consciousness that I am. I communicate with the divine consciousness. I know what it feels like to know that, how to allow myself to know the complete truth. I believe in completion and wholeness, and I know what it feels like to move beyond the ego taking over at every step, and yet allowing myself to believe in myself, and yet open and receptive to others' suggestions. I know what it feels like to develop the independence and be very independent, having my own thought process, taking onus and accountability of every thought, every speech I use, every action that I take in my life, and yet allowing myself to trust, honor, respect others' opinion, and have faith in the interdependence on which the entire world operates with. I'm independent and yet I'm connected to people, and I believe in codependence and interdependence without getting stuck to the blame game, without blaming myself for everything that goes wrong and without blaming others for everything that goes wrong into my life. I know what it feels like to stop blaming and rather allow myself to go to the root cause and to change and embrace the change and new me. I know what it feels like to understand the Creator's perspective of change, of Creator of all that is of the seventh plane. I know how to change, when to change. It is safe for me to change. It is possible for me to change, and I'm deserving of changing realities. I know how to shift realities. I know how to manifest and attract positivity into my life. I understand the principle of Anikantvad through Creator's definition and perspective of the seventh plane of Creator of all that is. I know how to implement the principle of Anikantvad into my daily life. I know how to operate with the principle of Anikantvad into every aspect of my life, into my relationships, at my workplace, in my business, to my job, within myself, and that it is safe, it is possible. I know what it feels like to let myself shine and to know I am being heard by. I'm deserving of being heard by, and I have something important to say. I allow myself to let that divine voice be connected to my inner voice and listen to my own inner voice and operate with the same. I know what it feels like to bring equilibrium, and I understand being patient and have patience. Through Creator's definition and perspective of the seventh plane of Creator of all that is, I understand how to live my daily life with peace, with equilibrium, being at peace with the self and being at peace with the situation around me without constantly questioning and letting myself grow with knowledge. I know what it feels like to invoke the body of willpower and the body of knowledge within myself and to let that be in sync with myself in totality and in allowing myself to be whole and complete. I am whole and complete, and I understand being whole and complete through Creator's definition and perspective of the seventh plane of Creator of all that is. I know what it feels like to allow myself to know the complete truth without being in any rush to speak up and put up my opinion for the same. I know what it feels like to allow the principle of being non-judgmental into my life and that it is possible. I know what it feels like to give space to myself and others to be who they are, what they are, and how they are, and allowing myself to be who I am and respect and honor myself for who I am, what I am, without constantly judging myself, and to stop putting myself down and to stop putting others down. I know what it feels like to be mindful of every word, thought, action, and to allow the change to happen at my thought, words, my speech, my action level. I understand how to do that through Creator's definition and perspective of the seventh plane of Creator of all that is. And to know that it is safe, it is possible for me. I choose to live my daily life with the same. I know what it feels like to be in complete alignment with the universal forces, and that it is possible. I understand it through Creator's definition and perspective of the seventh plane of Creator of all that is. I know how to do that. It is safe, it is possible, and I'm deserving for the same. I allow to let the divine within me shine. I choose to operate with the divinity that I am. I connect to the divinity that I am. And I allow myself to connect to the divine in others now, and that it is completely possible. Creator of all that is, it is commanded to instill these feelings into each one who says yes right now or later while listening to the recording, into any language that their mind perceives and understands the best. For each one's highest and best, for the highest and best possible way for them. And for each one, or as much as they are ready for it right now, allowing their energy centers to open and be active and be in alignment. So letting all the chakras be open, active, and be in alignment and aligning the polarities for each one's highest and best, allowing the best version of themselves to shine, and that it is completely possible. Thank you, it is done, it is done, it is done. Creator, show me. Whoever wishes to have that, please say yes into your mind. Creator of all that is, it is commanded to pass unconditional love, light, and healing to each one present here. Thank you. You all can open your eyes and come back to the room. Sorry, the topic was very deep and it took very, very long. Today evening also, we will again open up the group. And I want each one to tell me, what did you do differently today? Did you develop the quality of being a good listener? What happened into your life? So please share your experience with us. Based on that, we will decide whether to take a new point of the wonderful Jainism philosophy or continue with the same topic, because based on that, I will decide and probably guide you through a beautiful meditation for the same. Because last day we want to take you all through the forgiveness. Until we do not have all these things in place, forgiveness does not come. It is very superficially saying that I forgive you and you forgive me. Rather, we implement that and we take time and understand this and start putting it into action into our present reality. And it is okay if you are not able to. Do share both the experiences. So we know where we are operating from. And I hope everybody has the WhatsApp group link. Mag, please put it on the chat. Whoever doesn't have, please join the group. So you put up your experiences. And if at all, if anybody is not, please put it on the YouTube. Please put it on the Facebook. Based on that, tomorrow, if I feel everybody is absorbed it, we'll move towards the next topic. If you are not, then I will guide you through the meditation, allowing you to be there in others' space. And it's a very beautiful meditation. So let us see. Observe your thought today. Be a good listener, developing the quality of patience. Is the golden word. I will think about it. I'll get back to you. Is the mantra for today. Allow, just listen, listen, listen. Then put it in your diary. If you disagree to that, why is this person feel that way? Probably they have gone through certain things in life. That's why they strongly believe into that. It's their opinion. It's okay. So just make it very simplified, and let's understand Anekantavad and follow it, get it into our everyday life. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. We have put the link for the WhatsApp for whoever doesn't have. You can please take it from the chat. Do share your experience. We are going to open up the group right now and again in the evening, like yesterday, we opened it up. So we will again open it up. Please share your experiences for today of being mindful about not judging people, not reacting, and listen to them. Thank you for joining with lots of gratitude. Thank you. See you all tomorrow, 9 a.m.